The upper half of pod 4 is secured to a green bench, and this is how you're going to keep it backstage. There's a PVC frame that's on the bottom of the Audrey, the upper half, and that's what is lays flat on the green bench, and that bungee cord is what you're going to hook onto the back of the bench to help keep it in place. You'll want extra help holding this frame down whenever you're working around the Audrey 2 or getting in and out of it as a puppeteer. Next, when you're ready to attach the lower jaw to the upper jaw, you'll insert 2 extending pipes into the open-ended pipes and begin to pull the lower pod inward towards the waist of the backpack until the gap closes and the edges meet. The full look of the Audrey 2 is accomplished once you connect the curtain panel from the upper pod to the jaws of the lower pod on each side. Also, for both pod 3 and pod 4, the puppeteer wears root pants. Once those side panels are connected, you're ready to step in and start puppeteering the large Audrey 2. Before anything, it's important to look over the adjustment points of the backpack first and make note of the adjustable straps that run vertically down the middle of the backpack. You'll need to adjust this to the puppeteer's torso length. The torso length is measured from the base of the neck to the top of the hip bones, and then you add another 1.5 inches. Adjusting your backpack to fit your puppeteer appropriately makes a huge difference in their ability to puppeteer the Audrey 2. Next, you'll want to find the 2 bungee cords that run over the shoulder. They're connected near the shoulder straps. These have hooks at the end of them, and you'll need these later, so it's good to know where they are before strapping on the backpack. Next, sit at the edge of the bench and line yourself up with the harness of the backpack. Place your arms through the straps and buckle the hip belt. You want the hip belt to be centered over your hip bones, but it may be easier to adjust once you stand. Look for those 2 bungee cords that were mentioned earlier and pull them over your shoulders so they'll be ready, because you're going to connect them to the lower jaw in a second. Now you're ready to stand up, but before doing so, make sure you release that bungee cord that's securing the pod to the bench. It's best if you can have someone else do this for you. Go ahead and stand up, and you're going to bend over at the waist and pull that lower half jaw, pull it in as far as it will go. This will make the rings much easier to reach. The bungees will feel like a tight pull, but go ahead and pull in each side, and as you're pulling in, it's easier to attach the hooks. With the bungees connected at both sides, moving the lower jaw becomes much easier, and it gives you the freedom to bounce and dance around. The large Audrey 2 was designed to be a free-roaming body puppet, so take advantage of this range of movement that it allows the puppeteer. Also, just notice that you don't necessarily have to have a grasp of the handles all the time. The bungees allow you that kind of some relief of that, having to do that all the time. I like to grasp the lower part of the pod. That's the easiest point of movement for me. Make note that once it comes time to do the killing scenes, you're going to have to remove those bungee cords. To do this, lower the nose of the pod down, and you're going to reverse the order by unhooking the bungee cords from those hooks and then raising the nose back up. I'm raising the curtain right now so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm then taking my foot and I'm pushing the lower jaw out to make it easier for someone to step into. This isn't noticeable when the curtain's down. You don't see the puppeteer doing it. But once the victim steps inside the pod, you can then lower the jaw, and at the same time, your victim is going to start crawling out the back side of the pod while you're acting as if you're chewing them up and killing them. At the same time, you're going to start to reattach those bottom bungee cords so you can rise up again and turn back into your Audrey 2. Between scenes, or once you're ready to take a break, return pod 4 to the bench, secure it in place with a bungee cord, and this makes it much easier to be able to get yourself out of the straps and be able to make an easy exit. When storing the Audrey 2 backstage, it's sometimes easier or safer to push something up underneath the lower jaw, raise it up, and shove something under it. In the first picture, there was a whiskey barrel bench that was shoved under there, or you can use your own chair. This just helps keep it from falling forward. Another tip is make sure to really bring out the leaves. They're made of wire, so you can bend them and shape them how you want to, even the vines. So make the most of it. Really pull them out to where it extends and extends the shape of the Audrey 2, and make it look more wild with the spiraling vines and that kind of thing. And finally, don't hesitate to call or text me with any questions or concerns. We can video chat if necessary. I really want it to be a good experience for you guys, and I wish you the best production ever, and to everyone, break a leg.